basically means that somebody caused something to have something happen, that the result will be what they want. They'll cause a catastrophe and set into motion change. And if it wasn't for them causing this catastrophe, the change wouldn't happen. Kind of like 9/11. For this, I was chosen. The second song on the record is called This Day We Fight, and I'm sure a lot of you, like myself, were a big fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Oddly enough, Led Zeppelin was really a big fan of Tolkien too, so I love that medieval type netherworld stuff. The song This Day We Fight was something that Aragorn was saying to his troops right before he was ready to engage in battle. It was a battle cry, if you will, and he was saying, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen, but we are not going to die today. We may die tomorrow, but not today, because this day we fight. Okay, the next song I'm going to describe for you is a song called 44 Minutes, and this is about a bank robbery that took place in North Hollywood back in 1997. Now, I'd already moved to Arizona, so I wasn't living there anymore at the time, but Nick was still with us at the time, I'm pretty sure, and he was back living in Los Angeles, and he lived near where the bank robbery took place. Now, 44 minutes is the amount of time that the gunmen were able to walk the streets with impunity, with AK-47s, with huge cartridges, with hundreds and hundreds of shells in there, and full body armor. Now, most body armor, guys go and wear that, they'll wear the vest here. These guys were all the way down to the cuff, all the way down to the ankle. They were impervious to damage, and at the very end of the song, it talks about how the gunfight actually climaxed. A member of SWAT had gotten into a car and was racing forward to the truck that the suspect was in. He thought he was going to rescue a fellow officer or a hostage or a victim. So he's in the car with 3 other SWAT guys. They race to the truck. They had no idea they were going for the bad guy. They pull right up, hood to the bad guy. And the guy that I talked to on the phone, Sergeant Stephen, I think his last name is Gomez, he's with the LAPD SWAT department, and he told me he got out of the car and his gun jammed. It had what's called a hang fire, where the shell sticks inside of the cartridge and it wouldn't properly eject from the gun, so his gun was rendered ineffective. Somehow he cleared it, got under the car, and started shooting at the suspect's feet. Thus the reference to Achilles' heel, because he shot the guy in his heel and he fell to his knees, and then he kept hitting him until he was pronate on the ground, and they came around the front of the vehicle, and by then he was already dying. 44 minutes, what a heavy song. The next song is called 1320. This is a song about drag racing. 1320 is the length of feet in a quarter mile. That is the universal length of drag strip in the United States, and the car itself in 1320 is a nitro fuel funny car. Now, the difference between a top fuel car and a nitro funny car is that one is using gasoline and the other one is using nitromethane. And when you compress nitromethane in a piston, it's like, to put it in simplest terms, like a little bomb. And with a car, it's kind of like when little boys like their farts. And when the difference, and this little poof, is quite substantial when you figure there's 8 ignitions in that block whenever you get an RPM. At least this is what I'm told. So when you get that times 8,000 RPM, there's 64,000 concussions, or however many the math is. You tell me if I'm off on it. I do know I was there, and if you weren't, I know better. It is a magnificent sport. It's one of the greatest things. You always talk about pure rated power. My favorite driver is John Forrest, and he's got some really cute daughters too. You should check out his website. The song is called Bite the Hand, and when the record is closer to release time, we're going to decide whether we have the title change and have That Feeds in parentheses, or we change the whole title to Bite the Hand That Feeds. I've been known to change my titles up until the last second, like with Cryptic Writings. That record was supposed to be called something else, and when we got the artwork back, it was rubbish, and so we had to change the title and the artwork. For this song, Bite the Hand, in the States, people after World War II, things started to change. People would start committing fraud and misusing bankruptcy in the States. And one of the things that they would do, people with integrity would live check to check. And you hear people say, God, I'm living hand to mouth right now. It's hard, but I'm making ends meet. Well, then came the advent of credit card fraud. People now live from check to credit card to check. And then you started seeing these people that belong on Jerry Springer and stuff like that, that live from credit card to credit card to credit card to credit card. And they've completely abused the system, and they're the ones that are responsible for the economic problems in the system, draining it with credit card fraud. And so this song is about people who are manipulating and misusing the system, and then good guys like me, you know, who will work their butts off no matter what. I will never file for bankruptcy. I think that if I ever got myself in trouble, I'd work it off. I started with nothing. I'm going to end with nothing. You've given me a lot of gifts, and I appreciate that. This song is merely about the economy and what happens if you bite the hand that feeds. This next song, Bodies, is a song that, again, with the titles, you know, I think I'm just going to call this Bodies. I like the one-word title. I think it's pretty cool. And believe it or not, this song actually has been hanging around for a little while. When we recorded United Abominations, we had a little piece that you heard on the net. We put it up, and it was Sean jamming out the end of Bodies. So you already heard part of this song. And what the chorus is in the song is, it's entertaining for me because it says, and all along the road, all the bodies left behind may all have been good friends, just not good friends of mine. And you know, it's really interesting when I will be in a concert and someone will show up who's a friend of a friend, or one of the other band guys, one of the crew guys, and they have somebody that they invite there. They're either completely gracious and cool, or they're complete utter rectums, and it just, you know, is the hardest thing to deal with people like that. So Bodies is the riff, and you've heard it before, like I said. The rest of the song is obviously new to you, and I hope you like it as much as we do. It was a great classical progression at the end, and this is part of the areas where you can see Chris Broderick really shining. And besides the fact you've already had your nuts cut off from guitar solos, if any of you have anything left, this will surely get it.